King Mike Tyson, Razor Ruddock died. If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. If he's not dead, it doesn't count.
How you doing, everyone? My name is Ryan and this is Ade, and welcome back to another edition of BoxTalk. Today, Paulie Malignaggi signs with Al Heyman and now he's got a title shot against Shawn Porter. What can you say? You sign with the big man, you get a title shot. Ade.
It's a joke, innit? But so wait, let me understand this for a second. Let me get this right. So, you lose to Andre Berto, you come out after the show, Al Heyman fighters, man, Then you get Zeb Judah, a little New York fight, that's decent. Then you get Shawn Porter. Look, I'm not trying to say Malignaggi didn't say it, but it's like the way to go now is shout Al Heyman's name out in the ring if you're not signed to him.
Yeah.
And there's a good chance you can A, get signed, and B, you can get a world title or eliminate a fight straight away. Let's just get this down. Look. And before we go on Porter and Malignaggi, we're gonna do it. Kell Brook's been waiting 4 years. 4 goddamn years Kell Brook has been waiting for a world title shot against anyone that held the IBF belt. It could have been what's that guy? It could have been Mike Jones before that, Randall Bailey before that, Devin Alexander before that, Shawn Porter now. Malignaggi's been waiting all of a month and gets the call. Good fight though, regardless.
I tell you this, like we mentioned before, if Malignaggi wins this fight, Kell Brook can get a title shot.
Yeah, he said he called that as soon as the fight was mentioned. So watch this space. Who knows?
So what do you think? I'm looking at this fight right now, and I actually think it's a good matchup.
Very good.
I think Paulie's, again, seasoned veteran, doesn't have the power, but has the skill, the technique, and the heart to push any fighter to their limits. We saw it done with Broner, and a lot of people thought, Malignaggi, a lot of people thought that Malignaggi could have stole that fight. It was that type of fight. Shawn Porter is one of those guys that's kind of been under the radar, where he's been fighting, making a name for himself, moving up. He's like Adi mentioned to me previously, he's kind of like the new breed of 147. What do you think how is this match going to gel?
You never know with a Malignaggi fight. I've always said, I think I said it in one of the videos we done on Malignaggi a time ago. If Malignaggi had pop in his punches, we honestly, we could be looking at another Mayweather here. Honestly, that's how good I think his defensive skills are. He gets the jab out, his footwork is good. I've seen him probably have 2 bad fights, and it's strange because that was against Ricky Hatton and Amir Khan, 2 British guys, randomly. Apart from that, Malignaggi, even when he loses, he puts up very good performances. Yeah. Miguel Cotto put him head down hard. I think it was the first round. Went all the way to a point decision. I think second round maybe. His finally face just completely swelled up. Yeah. We saw what he done with Andre Berto. Gave people a lot of clues now to be Andre Berto. We saw what happened with Andre Berto's. It's Andre Berto. Adrian Broner. So what happened there. I'm not sleeping on Malignaggi. I do think Porter's a bit too young, too fresh, got a bit too much of everything. But hey, who knows?
You know, the thing about it is that Porter beat Alexander.
Yeah. And
he beat him well, I thought. I thought he beat him well. I mean, there was rumours before that they fought in the amateurs, and there was different stories on either camp how well it was won. But either side said they dominated. Yeah. And from what I saw, I believe Porter. Yeah. I believe Porter dominated. So that means Porter has got skill because, again, just like Malignaggi, Alexander's known as a boxer. Doesn't have the power, but he's technically sharp, skillful, and he knows how to win. Don't want to get into controversy, but if you look at Malignaggi's career right now, late in his career, he's coming to the end. He even admitted he's got a good job at Showtime. Now he's signed with Al Heyman. Is this him saying, I'm taking the title and moving forward? Or is this him saying, look, this is my last big payday and he's going to just kind of call it a day?
You know what? I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is because I think there are a few more paydays for Malignaggi.
No.
I think the 147 division now is starting to get new blood in it. Keith Thurman's coming in it now, we know that. Obviously, Kell Brook finally hopes to take this step into the American scene. I think it's getting so much new blood that even if he loses, Malignaggi, I think there are fights for him after that.
Thurman's been calling him out quite a bit as well at the press conference previously, and they went back and forth quite a bit. Yeah. The reason why I'm talking about Malignaggi and retiring, because he keeps mentioning retirement and how much he's got left in him. When you watch his interviews, when you look at his post-fight interviews, that's always kind of be like a lingering question. He keeps talking.
But haven't you noticed how he's not said it since he signed to Al Heyman? He was saying it clearly before Al Heyman.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, way before, after the Adrian Broner fight, he was literally saying, I might call it a day. Then he got Zeb Judah, and then he gets Porter. I think he just wanted opportunities.
Yeah.
He's a big name. I think people forget. Malignaggi's a big name. Look at his record, who he's fought 147. He doesn't duck many people. Yeah. And I think he wanted his credits. I think he's starting to finally get them. You don't retire when he's not a fighter that's taking a lot of punishment. Yeah. He's got wear and tear in the hands, but every fighter seems to have that nowadays. He's a veteran of the game, and I think he's a very, very good gatekeeper. In fact, I'll take that away from him. I don't think he's a gatekeeper. I think he's a bit better than that.
No, definitely.
And so I think you never know. He could cause a surprise, and if he does,
I think
Mayweather doesn't have a fight for September yet.
No, I think the problem with Malignaggi, which that's not a problem, but it's hard for him because 147 is so busy and so stacked with so much names in there. He draws. He's got a name for himself, and he puts on entertaining fights. But it's hard to see him with the elite. And as much as the Broner fight showed he could still fight at the highest levels, the Broner lost to Maidana.
Yeah.
And Maidana's not half as skilled as Malignaggi, in my opinion. He's more tougher and got more power, got the pop. But that's what makes it difficult for Malignaggi. Whereas even if he wins a title, would you really call him a top 5 welterweight?
The problem is, because of the Cold War, there isn't so much an elite lot anymore. I think the elite in terms of the 2 or 3 are over in Top Rank. You look at what Golden Boy have. We don't really have an elite.
They've got all the contenders.
Exactly. We don't really have the elite. We've got the guys that might do something. Danny Garcia might do something. Amir Khan might do something. Adrian Broner's now dropped back down in weight. When he comes up, he might do something. There's a lot of guys that haven't really rubber stamped. I thought Devin Alexander, for example, would be one of those guys. Again, he's now a might do something. So Malignaggi's in there to me with about a pot of about 5 or 6 guys that I think could all beat each other.
Yeah.
And I think he's definitely got... Mayweather's way above every one of them. But below Mayweather, we're guessing, really. And I think that's what makes Malignaggi still viable right now. Going back to Shawn Porter's one of those guys that are trying to step clear of that maybe. He wants to try and be one of those guys that step clear. And I really hope he does win because I really, really want to see him up against Kell Brook next to see how good Shawn Porter really is.
Now, see, the good thing about Shawn Porter is that he's young, he's fresh. And I don't like saying you could lose and come back, but he could always make a comeback. Yeah. And it's better for the division if Porter wins. He's young, he's fresh, he brings a little extra spice in the division. No matter what happens, Malignaggi will always be a name, he will always be there. So in theory, you want Porter to win just to make the division more exciting, more explosive overall. But wanting someone to win and can they win is 2 different things.
I can't lie to you, I'm extremely surprised. I think obviously they've gone for Malignaggi because Malignaggi doesn't really have any power. Yeah. So it's almost like a real good 12-round sparring session. Let's have it true. Because you would never ever... I mean, I don't know if they're taking Kell Brook so lightly or what the thing is, but you would never ever take a fight in April and then having to fight someone like Kell Brook in July, which I think it is 90 days. And they've given, I think the IBF have given them a small extension, just so they can fit the fight in. You would never do that. Yeah. So they obviously are picking Malignaggi because it's a good payday for Porter, money counts, and I think because they think obviously Malignaggi is not going to stop him or really hurt him. It's going to be a good session, a good workout, but you're not going to get much from Malignaggi. But look, I think it's a good matchup. Why wouldn't you? 2013 was all about good matchups, and this is another one in 2014.
Yeah, it's a good one. Like you said, it did kind of come on the radar. Because I remember reading about it saying they asked for an extension, and then the following day the fight was signed. It was literally planned and arranged long before it was even released to the public. Exactly what was going on. Yeah, so it is one of those interesting scenarios. I do reckon though, it's going to be a points win.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, it's going to be a
surprise.
And I'm going for the young blood.
Okay.
I'm going for Porter. I think it's not that Malignaggi's bad, but I think if you're gonna fight Malignaggi, the best person to fight is a boxer similar in terms of style and less power, like Alexander. The different type of fighters have different styles overall, but in terms of physical ability, they're boxers, not powerful. They're glad to keep their range, and they only mix it up when they're asked to. Yeah. And that's why I'm gonna go with Porter.
Yeah, I'm going Porter too. Look, I think Malignaggi is a great fighter, and he's one of those guys that I think will give anyone a real good fight. But that's the problem. That's all he does. Yeah. He's not. You don't expect him to hurt someone hard, to put someone down hard. If he could do that, then whoa, it's a different Malignaggi. He will give him a good fight, but that's all I expect him to do with Porter. Porter is younger, hungrier, for all intents and purposes, stronger. Yeah. So I can't really see how Malignaggi beats him. I
don't want to tag Malignaggi with this label because it's unfair to him, but he's kind of the guy that loses the big fight.
You just gave him that label.
Yeah, unfortunately. If you look at the Khan, you look at Hatton, you look at Broner, you look at Cottle, when he goes to the big fight, he seems to fall just a little short. As good as he performs in those fights, he never gets the nod.
So guys, look, what do you think? This is a fight that's almost trying to sneak its way in between Brook. If Malignaggi wins, for all intents and purposes, there's probably no Malignaggi Brook. If Porter wins, which I think he will, then we have a decent little fight coming up in July or August. But what do you think? Does Malignaggi cause Porter any problems whatsoever? Or does Porter just stroll to an easy points victory? Leave your comments below. Email us
at BoxTalk@hotmail.co.uk.
And guys, thanks for tuning in for another edition of BoxTalk.